Hey everybody, welcome back. We have an outbreak on our hands, and this is the CDC kind of outbreak, the crispy donut community outbreak. Now, I've been told I need to take precaution and use some barriers so this outbreak doesn't spread. But we have a really sweet looking knife here. Now, I want you to take a peek. Obviously, crispy donut community, known for the sprinkles, and they're coming out with this all titanium knife. Look at this beauty. I'm excited for it. They have a Kickstarter going, link in the description. Now, we're going to do some comparisons, some tech specs. We're going to go over some of their updates because this one is a prototype. As you can see right there, it's in Magnacut. It's got some smooth hollow ground blade action going on right through here. It's got some serious jimping in 3-4 different locations. They did not forget about the lanyard fans. Now, let's listen to this one because it's riding on bearings. So overall, this knife, we're going to go over the specs, we're going to go over the pricing, and I want your input. And we're going to cover a few of the knives that I think would be in comparison, and they sent out another set of scales. So we're actually going to take a look at the plain scales, which is an option you can get. So we're going to open this knife up on this video. We're going to take a peek at it, and we're going to see what those bearings look like and how this knife looks with these beautiful titanium scales. So let's go over some tech specs on this. Now, overall length, 7.5 inches. Close length, 4¼ inches. So it's a decent sized knife, and we'll do some comparisons. I got some titanium goodness to compare it to, so we'll see if it holds up to that challenge. The blade length on this one, 3¼ inches. And overall, the blade thickness, 0.13 of an inch, 3.3 millimeters. Now, we talked about the blade material being Magnacut. It's what we all love. I love the look of this. I would like, personally, a deeper stone wash. Maybe not the front jimping, but I get it. To kind of go with the titanium color, you know. I'm not a really big, flashy stone wash guy, but it's better than a coated blade, in my opinion, because you can do so much more with it. And, of course, the hollow grind's going to cut so nice with this. And you got the titanium sprinkles. But you got the hollow ground, and then you have a compound grind near the tip. So, little feedback from me, of course. Little darker stone wash. Get rid of that tip jimping. I know that's one of the things that came out of the live stream. So definitely awesome. I like the look, though. I like the black hardware. We're going to talk about that. It's a vertical belt satin is what they call it. Now, hardware on this one, I'm kind of excited for this. You have a T10 pivot. You have T8 body screws, and they're all black DLC titanium. That's pretty cool. They're running their Magnacut hardness at HRC 61 to 63. We'll talk about the production of it. You also have, of course, the handle being a stonewash titanium, and I like that darker look. That's me. That's how I like it. I can live with this belt satin, but I would probably go a little darker on it personally of a stonewash. Now, the handle thickness, almost ½ an inch. It's 0.48. You can see some of the built-in spine jimping and whatnot on that as well. It's got a thumb stud opener. So you obviously have to make sure your fingers are out of the way of the flipper. But for me, that's hard because I'm always pushing down right here, right? Because it's that frame lock action. I'm always pushing down on that. So for me, the flipper, best deployment. I like it. I'm good with that. Now, the pivot assembly, it's got obviously brass cage ceramic ball bearings, and we will open it up and take a look at that here in just a minute. Pocket clip, right-handed, black DLC titanium. It's a tip up, right-handed, doesn't have a position for left-handed carries on this model. Thumb stud, it's black DLC titanium as well. Our good friend from CDC, Luke, he's the designer of this. The manufacturer is Best Tech. Now, we will go over the prototypes versus production here in just a couple minutes, but I wanted to do a comparison with some of the beautiful titanium that's out there in the field and give you an idea of what it looks like in comparison, because you're going to look at this and go, CDC Outbreak, obviously in Zach's hand, it looks amazing here, but how does it compare to some of the favorites that I know and enjoy? So we're going to look at this one and we're going to say, how does it compare to, let's say, Zach's favorite, the Benchmade 940. 940 Osborne, that beautiful titanium one that I have with that darker Stonewash S90 blade. How does it compare? Like pivot to pivot, line it up. Let's take a peek at it. Okay, so there are some differences. You can see how thick and thin your handles are, of course. Vertically, blade shape difference. I get that. But it's titanium, right? Now, we'll talk about pricing in a minute. We talk about the Kickstarter. Now, maybe you say, hey, Zach, I just got the brand new Hogue Misto titanium in Magnacut. How does it compare? You know, that's your comparison, right? That's your look. So overall, you know, you got the Able lock on this one. You know, you got a deep carry over the top clip, or not over the top, but deep carry. I want to say over the top, but I know what you guys are saying on over the top. Now, maybe you're like, hey, I went all out. I got the titanium Narrows from Benchmade. How does that compare? There's your comparison right there. How does that look? Let's look at thickness, because Narrow is going to be super crazy thin. But overall, that's your comparison there. Now, half the price of the Narrows, the CDC Outbreak. Titanium, Magnacut, made by Bestech. Now, let's say you're like, well, I kind of have a feeling that it's going to be close to like the Bailout. So you're like, let's see some Bailout titanium comparison. Here's a Bailout and titanium comparison. Okay, so the Bailout's going to be a little longer in the handle. Blade's going to be pretty close, a smidge longer, on the Bailout. But you don't have that, you know, lanyard pommel sticking out as well. But overall, that's your comparison. And maybe you're like thickness. How does it compare on thickness? It's going to be a little thicker than the Bailout. Obviously, it's made for that, but also a lot cheaper. So now you're going to say, okay, what does it look like next to a Benchmade bug out? And of course, these are the titanium ones I found, so there's way, way more that we could compare. I just don't have titanium versions, so I wanted to show you with titanium. Some beautiful titanium Critter rock scale designs. Check out the link below. And Rockscale gave us a discount, I'm just saying. But that's what it looks like to a bug out. So comparison-wise, I know they were shooting for a bug out look and size. Overall, what do you guys think? I mean, very, very close size comparison. A little bit taller of a blade, a couple different grinds, not as much jimping on the bug out. Let's look at the thickness. So you're going to have, obviously the bug out's going to be a little thicker. You know, blades, there's your blade comparison. Pretty good overall. There's your handle comparison. Looking awesome. Now, of course, that's one you got to build. They do have some that obviously you can get. But on this one, how does this one look with the other scales on it? Because we're talking like very smooth, very, very plain looking titanium scales. Because maybe the sprinkles aren't for you. Now, I like the fact that these are plain sprinkles because it brings a little element of class to it. So let's go ahead. Safety first. We'll close this up. We're going to take a peek and see what this scale looks like. We'll do a quick tear down. Like I said, I'm loving the fact T8 body screws, black DLC titanium. So we'll use this T8 bit from Weehaw. We'll take these screws out really quick. A huge shout out to CDC, Crispy Donut Community, for sending this out, this prototype, just to take a peek at it. Now, I will say their Kickstarter link is in the description. We'll see if this one funds. I'm thinking it will. It's getting close, so that's awesome. And a T10 for your pivot here. And this is also black titanium, the pivot. So really, really cool. There's what your pivot looks like. Hopefully you can get an idea on that. So let's take this top scale off. So there's your internal milling for weight reduction. We all love the weight reduction. Now, there is your brass caged bearings. What do you think of that? The ceramic ball bearings, my apologies. I like that. It operates super duper smooth. Now you can take the whole knife apart from this point and get into some action. We're gonna try not to. We're gonna put on this other beautiful scale. We're gonna get it into place here. And then let's put this one back together. So we got this, we'll put the pivot back on, and then we'll take a peek at it with this one side, and you can let me know, are you a sprinkle knife carrier with this beautiful titanium, or are you like, give me that smooth titanium look. Give me that smooth titanium look. So we'll go back to our T8 bit, and we'll put these screws back together, and then I'll talk about some of the production versus prototype. They are going to make a couple changes on things. And so I want to give you all that information. But overall, it could be a really quick, easy swap, as you can see, with scales. Whoops. Even if you get into the aftermarket stuff and you're like, maybe they'll sell some aftermarket scales and maybe you could get some sprinkles on the side, you know? But look at that. Just beautiful. It just kind of, to me, it just kind of levels it up, you know, in comparison to your sprinkle scale. So that's the difference. You can see that. I like both looks. To me, I like a little bit of grip as well. You know, I mean, when you're looking at smooth titanium, it's like smooth titanium, right? But overall, I mean, it's still, oops, that's on me. Oh, I didn't tighten the pivot enough on this side. Sorry, hold on. I was like, what is it? Why is it doing that? I forgot the pivot. It spun a little bit on the other side. So, all right, so let's get this going again. Bam! Like, Zach, you totally messed that up. Okay. I obviously didn't get the stop pin in there right. So it must have, is there a stop pin on that? Let me see here. Okay. There we go. All right, so we're good to go. We'll pull it out like this. I didn't get the locking mechanism in here right. I'll put that back together. We'll save it for the video, but you gotta have something fun messed up when I'm looking at a knife, right? That's just half the fun. We're doing it live on the video. We're not doing a retake on that. We're gonna take a peek at it all crazy like this. That's how it goes. But obviously, I like the look of this one. Let me know your thoughts down below. Let me know how I messed up on putting it back together. I know you'll do that. But we're going to talk about, really quick, we're going to talk about what it looks like when we have, oh, the stop pins. I'm silly. It's right here. It's on that scale. Well, that makes sense. It came out. That's how it goes. So we'll put that back together off screen. But I wanted to give you some information that they took and sent out to us. And it says, they try to closely match, obviously, the knife productions to the prototypes everyone sees in these videos and these reviews. 98% of what you see in the prototypes from us and reviewers will be what you see for production. We've discussed changing the pocket clip out for a true deep carry pocket clip. I am down with that. I'm down with that. So, obviously, stop pin aside. This just bothers me, so let's just pull the stop pin real quick and put it in there. I was like, why is this doing this? It makes it unsafe. And we're about safety first. So let's put the stop pin in there. Let's be safe. I didn't even see that it popped off on the other scale. You might have seen it when I took it apart. And you're probably telling yourself, man, I wish I could scream through here and tell Zach, like, bro, you missed the most important part, the stop pin. Come on, dude. What are you doing? But it's okay. We got it dialed back in. As long as we can get it apart and not cut ourselves, that is the number one priority. So there's your stop pin. So let's put that stop pin in there. And then let's put it back together real quick. I didn't even see it pop off on the other scale. I was like, what is going on here? It's probably wanting me to take the other pivot out. There we go. And you can see those bearings in there as well. They're having fun just hanging out. Now, let's lock that stop pin in. We got it. Looks good. Excellent. So let's go ahead. Are we on the T10 side here? Nope, we're T8s. Okay. Let's put these back in real quick. Thanks for hanging with me, but I think overall, we'll take a look at the pocket clip. That'll be one of the best ones. Doing this on camera. I probably should re-record it, but that's not half the fun, right? Half the fun is just watching everybody. Nothing's perfect. Nothing's perfect. I've worked on a lot of knives, a lot of Benchmades. Nothing's perfect. You put it back together. You know, we saw the problems we had with, you know, the Hogue and the other stuff. Like, nothing's perfect. So you deal with what you got. This is what everybody goes through. Real world experience. So here we go. We'll put it all back together. Stop pins in there. Let's try it now. It's still not, I didn't get the stop pin in right. That just figures. Okay, so we'll deal with it later. We'll put it back together right. At least it's in there. It's a little loose. But what they talked about is this pocket clip, making it a true deep carry. This is titanium as well. I think that would be awesome. I think that would be awesome doing a true deep carry clip. I like the deep carry clips on a lot of my knives. That's how it goes. Any changes that they're going to do from the prototype to production, they'll list it in the Kickstarter link or on the Kickstarter program. Any of the updates will be in the update section on that Kickstarter. But are you sprinkle or are you plain titanium? Let me know down in the comments. Thank you for checking this one out. Make sure to do me a favor. Make sure to do something kind for someone. Hashtag DSKFS. But most importantly, have an awesome rest of your day. Take care.